buggered that up, didn't I? Hey, everybody! It's Sunday. It's time again. What's more for not another panel show? Tonight, the Sue Me, Sue You Blues. Snake Eyes Bombs. Supposedly, Alex Kurtzman gets a contract extension for rewarding failure. We got weird animal news. Are Steakums really Steakums? We don't know. And a whole lot more. I am, of course, Rob Robot Shlomo. Welcome back. Let's just groove for a little while on this. I need to edit this down, okay? Okay, enough of that. Okay, you're laughing. That's a good sign.
So, that was funny.
I am joined today by two people who are obviously a lot smarter than I am.
Okay then. You're welcome.
Thanks for the compliment.
And that always puts me off my game because I'm an idiot, but I know I'm an idiot. Now I have people who are qualified just to tell me how big an idiot I am.
Well, one of us is a therapist.
Yep, okay. That would be me.
That would be him. I am joined today by Master of the TDS and the Writing Raven from the Gothic Therapy YouTube channel. Woohoo! And if I can, we'll get you some applause here. And the crowd goes wild.
You couldn't see it, but I was bowing just now.
I could see it.
Okay, I got you here. Explain, just give a brief rundown of your channel, what you do. I've been following your channel for a little while. Actually, it's actually really very informative.
Well, thank you. I guess it was kind of both of our brainchilds. As I said, I did a channel back in the day and kind of came back and decided to, do something very similar. I guess we took inspiration from Clownfish TV, but we didn't necessarily want to base it like completely off of that. So what we did was we kind of created a channel where we basically, since I'm a therapist and my wife happens to be goth, we combined the two and made Gothic Therapy. We report on kind of we don't have time to like upload as much as everybody else does, and I realized that since a lot of people tend to work, sometimes people work long hours, they don't have time to watch a lot of videos, but they kind of want to know what's been going on in the community. So what we decided was to make one video at the end of the week, a sort of synopsis of everything that's been going on, and to kind of condense that, and we came up with our segment called Psycho Synopsis. So we summarize all the psycho and we kind of just talk it over. Again, we don't show our faces or anything. We use our avatars that you see now, but we just report on that kind of stuff when we get the chance, and that's our channel. So
from the points of view of a therapist and a goth.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of psycho now going around these days. I mean,
especially on Twitter.
Yeah, I have another channel which it's channel only in name, and the reason why I started is because the pop culture entertainment stuff kind of dries up after a while. But I would say if you look at the news, there is a bottomless pit of stupid in the world.
So, that's agreeable.
Yep.
Okay, so actually, you know what? Actually, I did this bumper actually for another channel, but this actually kind of brings us into our lead story. So this is actually a bumper for a new game show, and I hope you'll enjoy it. It's time once again for Let's Sue Disney. Well, hello there, and welcome to another exciting episode of Let's Sue Disney. Let's meet today's contestants. Let's say hello to our returning champion. She's an Avenger, the star of Black Widow, and the latest woman to accuse Disney of unfair business practices. Meet Scarlett Johansson. She's the star of La La Land, and said yes to being in the worst idea for a Disney film since Tomorrowland and A Wrinkle in Time. Meet Emma Stone. And finally, let's meet today's challenger. She's the wife of John Krasinski, and the reason why Scarlett Johansson became Black Widow in the first place. Say hello to Emily Blunt. What does Marvel boss Kevin Feige have to say about all this? We'll find out today on Let's Sue Disney! Exciting new game shows,
Nice intro.
Mm-hmm. I
Thank you
liked
for.
it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's high praise coming from, like I said, from people who know more than I do. So anyway, yeah. So Scarlett Johansson is suing because Black Widow didn't make as much money because the streaming got cut. Now, did you guys see Black Widow?
No.
We've seen clips from it, but nothing.
I envy you. I envy you.
Yeah, we just let other people watch the stupid for us.
Oh God, why didn't I think of that? But okay, but I'm not a legal expert, but apparently what happened was she took points off the back end, and you typically do that because you, as a favor to the studio to get a movie made. A lot of times, because it's a risky proposition. So Henry Cavill, I know, is a case. He made $60 million for Man of Steel, but not unfortunately for him, because he's still made a lot of money. He took 10% of the movie's profits. But at the same time, I mean, what do you guys think of this? I mean, and he's not the only one suing him. Emily Blunt is jumping into this. Emma Stone's. I mean, what do you think? I mean, are we? I've been thinking we are probably going to be looking at a collapse of some point at the entertainment industry, because I don't think there's any going back with what's happened.
I thought it already collapsed.
Well, it's like a slow moving train wreck,
Yeah, I was going to say that it's in collapse, baby.
Remember that scene in Austin Powers with the steamroller? No, look out! No, look out! I'm like, they have plenty of chances to get out of the way, but nobody is. So.
Yep, but it looks like, and it's a good thing, and I think it's a good thing that Disney's finally getting a taste of their own medicine, because they've kind of been high and mighty for so long. It's kind of like they're untouchable.
Yeah, I had a family member who used to be a lawyer in the entertainment business, and one of the things that you learn from that is that no entertainment lawyer before now has ever wanted to go up against Disney, because they always had the money to prolong the case until the defendant or the prosecutor no longer had the funds to keep the lawsuit going, which was why Disney would always win, because they were pretty malevolent when it came to lawsuits. Now that they're technically in debt, they don't have as much money to prolong a lawsuit, which means they may end up losing a court case finally.
Yeah, I mean, they should have just wait you out and make you spend all your money.
Yeah, that's what they used to do.
Yeah. So even if you did win, you still lost.
Because you lost money.
Yeah, but there's also the case here, and it's not just her, like Emily Blunt, and actually there is another case actually, because why should people? Okay, let me just. Where the heck did I say this? Okay, right here. We'll do it live, people. Gerard Butler is also jumping in on this deal. Gerard Butler, I remember, God, there was one 4th of July where after one of these Has Fallen movies opened up, Gerard Butler, who's Scottish, standing in front of an American flag talking about how patriotic the movie is. I'm like, yeah, no, it doesn't work.
Yeah, it only works if you're American.
Hey, Gerard Butler, how's it going? Hey, let's suck down a big pint of Guinness and I'll sing all national anthem.
Go back to Dublin and celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Sorry, any Irish people listening.
Well, I actually wrote a sketch about how, Daniel Day-Lewis, Ireland's greatest actor, was playing America's greatest president. And it was just like, Mr. President, that's Mr. President, that's not our national anthem, and we don't drink it. Sod off, you wanker, But I mean, are we going to see? I think you guys think we're going to see more of these lawsuits?
Probably.
Well, especially now, if things continue like they are now, where Disney continues to decide to release things both in theaters and on their service, or either just completely on their service, I definitely think we'll see more. I think maybe they'll wisen up and not do that, because if they're already getting sued from multiple directions, they might rethink their marketing strategy a little. But if they don't, I definitely think we'll see more.
I can't help but think this is Napster all over again. If you guys are remember, I don't know your ages, but I'm the old man the old man in the room here. But the whole thing about Napster was that the music industry was really unwilling to adapt to the new technology, and we're seeing the same thing repeat now.
It's more like they're unwilling to adapt to the fact that the customer is always right.
Oh God, yeah. I mean,
that's true.
Have you guys? What was the last Disney flick you guys? Did you see Cruella?
No.
Oh, God, I envy you people.
What was the last Disney movie we watched? I don't even remember. Last movie I remember us seeing in theaters was Sonic.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
We have not been to the theaters since Sonic.
Oh man, that is going back a ways.
Trying to think of the last Disney movie. I don't even remember.
Me neither. Then again, do we care?
The last one I can remember that I saw was Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh yeah, I guess that counts. I was thinking Moana, but only because that's very recognizably Disney.
Ugh, don't remind me of that movie.
Well, I didn't see that. Fortunately, finally, a movie I didn't see.
Good. Yeah, you don't want to.
It was an insult to Polynesian culture.
Yeah. Brother. I remember I remember a time when you used to actually look forward to Disney movies. I'm like, oh, cool, something new from Disney. Now it's just all the same recycled crap we've seen.
Yep. Though I have heard a rumor that they are going to do a live action of The Black Cauldron, which was the movie that almost got Disney shut down because it did so poorly. It was the final movie of the Disney Dark Ages. And after that movie lost so much revenue, Disney almost went bankrupt, and what saved the company was releasing the movie The Great Mouse Detective, which is literally just Sherlock Holmes with mice.
Yeah.
The Black Cauldron was one of my favorites as a kid. Oh my gosh, I loved the Horn King. Mostly because he scared everybody else, but also because his design is so cool.
Well, that was actually one of the few Disney movies I haven't seen, is The Black Cauldron.
Then watch it.
I will. I just never got around to watching it. But it's actually Captain Harris in chat. Is there a way to get court to shackle Disney with Alex Kurtzman, make them suffer? Captain Harris is one of those people that actually likes to see me suffer. he revels in my pain. He really does.
There are just some people like that in the world.
Yeah. But like I said, the biggest problem, like I said, the recycling the same crap, and you have a problem when you are trying to make a villain who wants to kill puppies and wear them as a coat into a sympathetic character.
It's like I said in our video when we discussed Cruella. Why would you want to wear the skin of the thing that killed your mom?
And also, I'm just waiting. I know this is going to happen because we're getting the live action, Ariel, which is going to be awful. I'm already calling it.
Absolutely.
But I am waiting. We're going to get, and I'm calling it now. We are going to get an Ursula solo movie. How much do you want to bet we're going to get that? It's going to be about how, fish are friends and not food or whatever. I don't know. And
they're going to cast maybe a guy or even a transgender because Ursula's design was based on a drag queen.
Well, no, they'll cast Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they'll let,
She's certainly a witch.
Oh, and yeah.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. I just insulted witches.
Oh, brother. But
the
entertainment industry is due for a collapse. I'm like every industry has to go through a collapse at some point. I think like I said, if it hasn't collapsed yet, it's collapsing, and it's overdue for one.
Definitely.
Are you guys big gamers at all? Big gamer?
Yep.
Depends on the game.
Well, I am, I guess, more than my wife. My wife likes hack and slash kind of games. I'm more of a survival kind of, I guess, puzzle-oriented game kind of guy, but that's just me.
But how sad is it that the best movie, actually, God, when was it? The best actually series of movies produced in the last few years is Metal Gear Solid, are video games. I play those and I'm like, these are movies that Hollywood directors can only dream of making.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, it's Darksiders. The Darksiders franchise is my game like that because the story is amazing, the characters are well developed. Oh, and I can finally actually mention this now that I brought it up. Darksiders, the third installation of the game, has the only instance I have ever seen where a gender fluid character actually worked. And it was the character of Lust, one of the 7 deadly sins. They made Lust non-binary, gender fluid, or whatever. You could tell it was a woman voiced, but it was voiced by a man, and the character design was a mix. The costume was a mix of male and female style clothing, because it works for the character. Because lust, as a thing, is something that applies to both men and women, so it worked, and I've never seen it work again.
Yeah, well, not according to modern. How many freaking genders there are? I'm like, yeah, okay,
let's not open that can of worms.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I've just been wanting to say that on a video or a stream for ages, and now I finally have. I feel fulfilled.
Well, and you did it right here. So that major is coup. Oh, Captain Hair just realized that I need someone new to force Rob to watch 2016 Ghostbusters. Any takers? Actually, Mecca wants me to do that. I have not seen the 2016 Ghostbusters, and that was a big thing. Captain Hair wants to see me suffer, so we have to.
I've seen it. Trust me, you don't want to see it. You do not want to see it. It is one of the most. I would say there's 2 films that I hold as my all-time least favorite and least well-done films ever. This Ghostbusters 2016 would be the second. There's one above it, but Ghostbusters, when your main villain is forcing people to like have a dance party, and all of them are dancing because they're possessed and whatever, you know your movie's terrible. Sorry.
Yeah.
How curious.
Hold on one second. I'm noticing a comment in the chat asking Caesar Io JPN.
Cesario, Japan.
No, I just wanted to answer your question. Are we talking about Full Metal Alchemist because I mentioned the character Lust? No, I was talking about the game Darksiders. It mainly focuses on the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, but the third game features the 7 deadly sins as the main enemies.
Like I said, and that's actually a really interesting character concept that like I said, you make lust gender fluid, but again, because it applies to men and women.
Exactly why it worked, and I've never seen it work again, ever. And it really bugs me because finally, people in that community did actually get a representation that worked. And yes, Captain Hair Darksiders does rock, but you never see it again. Every time I've seen it done since, it's always done horribly.
Oh my God, Morbid Fury! Don't watch it, Rob. It's worse than Unicorn Store and Basmati Blues. Oh my God, nothing could be worse than Basmati Blues. Have either of you guys heard of Basmati Blues?
Nope.
Okay, all right. Let me paint the picture for you. Okay, this is how the show goes. People bring stuff up, and then we have to talk about it. Brie Larson, for all her virtue signaling, she made a movie called Basmati Blues, where she plays a quote unquote scientist. And she goes to India, and she is getting them to adopt this, new GMO rice, whatever it is, And it is so bad, and it is a musical. It is a fucking musical. So at the most awkward moment, she decides she breaks into song, and at the end, she rides in on a white horse to save the village.
So she's deaf.
Yeah, it is that stupid. I'm like, I can't believe people actually paid money to make this.
And behold, I saw a pale horse, and its rider's name was Death.
Or in this case, Brie, but I guess that's kind of the same thing.
True.
Oh my God. Oh, my God. And that's like, I saw that movie. It actually turns up in the dollar store every once in a while in the DVD section, those dollar DVD section. And it's, I'm surprised people even pay $1 for it. It's so bad. It is so bad.
I'm surprised people would pay for it at all.
I looked it up. I think it only made like $15,000 total in its theatrical run. But she's desperately trying. Her people are desperately trying to bury it, which is why she does all the virtue signaling. So.
Well, she's done with YouTube now, at least for now. So.
Oh yeah. She'll be back. She'll be back.
Well, I'm sure she will. Just at least for now.
Yeah, I'm convinced that was all an effort just to get out and correct the narrative that people were spreading about her.
I don't think it worked so well for her. Just saying, but who knows?
She actually did a workout video. I don't know if you guys saw that. How much you saw?
Reluctantly saw part of it.
Okay, so I'm feeling the cookie I ate. I just started my period. No.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
It's things like this that feminists do that make me embarrassed to be a woman.
They try to relate so hard. Like, they try so hard to relate. And it's like, when you have to try that hard to relate, it comes off as phony. And when it comes off as phony, you don't look like you're someone we want to relate to. You look like someone that's trying really hard to be relatable. And that's not interesting to anybody.
Nope.
But what do I know, right? They get paid to be other people. That's their job. So who knows who they really are?
Yeah. Well, anyway, speaking about people virtue signaling, though, I mean, before I bring up the next story, I know you guys aren't Trek experts, but I made the bumper, and so I have to play it. Oh, I don't know if
Sorry, I was not expecting that.
Thank you for laughing. Just to give you a little background on that. And it's okay to laugh. Let's play that again, shall we? Before we hit diminishing returns. But anyways, I know you're not big Trek experts, but Star Trek Discovery is so bad. They actually have this guy wheeling around in a ship where there are all these ledges that he can't get up and he can't climb over. And my question is, why? He's a liability, and they don't give him a name. He's just wheeling around. He literally wheels through a scene for no damn reason.
So they literally just have a disabled guy for the sake of having a disabled guy. And that doesn't
Yes.
And from what I understand of Star Trek, they live in a century where the technology is so advanced that they could heal paralysis.
Exactly.
And yet they just were like, we could heal you, but we need to meet a diversity quota on this ship, so we're just gonna have you stay in the wheelchair. Hope you don't mind. We don't need your opinion or anything. We know best.
Why are these shows run by idiots and by people who hate the franchises they're running? I don't understand it.
That's actually a really good question.
Am I the only one who was asked this question? Or
Nope.
Okay, good. Because it's a question that needs an answer.
Yeah, it seems like at this point they're rewarding failure.
I thought they only rewarded stupidity.
Well,
it's kind of both.
Well, don't failure and stupidity go hand in hand many times, a lot of times.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So, but yeah, apparently I'm getting conflicting information though that this deal fell apart. But I wake up today and I said, this is a shitty way to start August. They dump a truckload of money for Alex Kurtzman to keep going with Star Trek. I'm like, this is so bad. Star Trek Discovery is so bad. And Rich Evans from Red Letter Meters called it the dumbest written show on television. And I'm like, yeah, he's right. And they've actually said, we're here. Listen, we can talk about thought-provoking television, or we can talk about Star Trek Discovery. We can't do both here. But they have all these shit. They're literally just flinging shit at the wall in the hope that something sticks. And have you guys seen any of this? Have you seen Picard? Have you seen Star Trek Discovery? Have you seen Lower Decks?
I've seen clips of each of these kind of things. I'm not huge into Star Trek, and especially with what's going on with it, I kind of don't want to get into like another franchise and kind of have to be like watch it get destroyed.
Fair.
But I have seen some clips and stuff here and there, and it's not good. I don't know why. It's not even like. And again, this is coming from someone who has like a very basic knowledge of Star Trek, like what I guess they'd call a normie. I'm looking at it and I'm just kind of like, okay, but I don't get this. Like, I have enough knowledge to understand that some of this stuff doesn't make sense, that shouldn't be focused on, or that they're trying to like push all this stuff, and you can see it. It's the same thing with celebrities, like I just said, when they try to force it in to an already existing narrative and try to inject it, it doesn't work. If you build a whole script around someone being inclusive or diverse or some kind of political concept, it also doesn't work. You have to build a good story and naturally fit those components in like a puzzle. If you don't do that, it's noticeable. And for me, when I notice that kind of stuff, I check out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
So, the worst part is what they've been doing is like the closest thing we have to like real Star Trek is this animated series called Lower Decks. And it is absolutely terrible. It's a
we've seen the trailer. At least we saw the trailer.
And we've seen some clips of it. It's not good. It's like real bad.
But actually, I put these together, and I just want to use this again. I want to show off my editing skills, and I have to vamp actually while I bring up the clip a little bit. That was an old technique we learned in improv. We call it reference Trek, and I made these. Actually, I made these clips for Mechaman 42's channel. They're part of her videos, and you could check them out there. But these are. I mean, this is what, like I said, the saddest thing is. This is their idea of what Star Trek is. And if I can, okay, son of a biscuit, I gotta share this, okay. Share screen, come on, share screen, stop screen. Okay, I gotta stop sharing. We're doing it live, people. We're doing it live. Okay. Brie VLC player. There we go. Now, this is, like I said, this is their idea of what staying true to Star Trek is. Now, this is only about a minute long, but just to give you an idea, you'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean with this. Here we go.
And they have Romulan whiskey. And I bet you thought it was going to be green, but it is actually blue. Be careful with that. Pretty sweet, right? Yeah, it's a Klingon bat. I got it from an old guy with an eye patch. Hey, come spar with me, come on. Oh, we can be Klingons. War. I love honor. I demand honor.
It's a pattern buffer maintenance access. She knows that, which is weird because the showers are sun. It just gets everywhere and gives you a rash.
You get a rash from sand?
I would kill to work on the deflector dish.
Hey, Brad, good news, buddy. So it's just settling you. I've just learned. I really like this classical band called the Monkees. Ever heard of them? You'll be fine. Doc will wave a light over it. We gotta get back to camp. Don't shoot. I said don't be my Ched Beach from now on, baby. Okay, did you know about Spock? Dude came back from being dead.
Yeah, I think I've heard.
The freaking Genesis device and fought Khan and some space
We
whales.
just go back to not being.
How about Sulu? Ooh, he rocked a sword. That was his thing. Do you know Kirk?
Yes.
My man Worf?
Yes.
Gary Mitchell?
I'm sure I could look him.
You know Deanna Troy? How about you dang it? She went from the jumpsuit.
And it doesn't get any better. It does not get any better.
Well then.
It's just it's as someone said in the comments. It's member berries in space. I think Morbid Fury said new Trek member berries in space.
I
remember. And there's literally like bing. There's really it seems to go bing 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 bing. I'm like that's what they think we want. It was we're gonna stay true. I'm like no, I don't want just cheap references. I want something thought provoking. You know, it's just mind-boggling to me that Seth MacFarlane was begging CBS to do a Star Trek series, and they said, "No, kid, go make your little cartoons about fart jokes."
It's unfortunate because the thing is, they think this is actually entertainment, and when you critique it, you're not just allowed to critique it. You're critiquing what they believe is entertainment. So for them, they look at this and they're like, oh, this is for me. I'm happy with it. So when you come at it, they take it as a personal attack, which is why they like call out the fans. But they legitimately think that this is entertainment. And maybe it is to some people. But the people who it originally appealed to, the reason that the entire franchise still exists to this day is because of the original people who kept it around. And they just don't care. They just don't care. They're just like, oh, we're going to make a show for me. I hate that.
Well, considering that shows are mostly fart jokes, it explains what's going on in their heads.
What do you guys think of the whole idea of that when you criticize something, there's this whole backlash? Oh, well, it wasn't made for you. I'm like, well, I've been a fan of Star Trek since I was 4. Who was it made for?
I made a bingo based on this recently. I actually got noticed. Literally, this is I called it mainstream media deflection tactics. And it's just the whole thing of, it's not for you. It was made to sell toys. You don't like strong women. You don't like this. Because they don't have original ideas, even in their insults. And they blame the fans because they don't want to take personal responsibility for their own actions. They have to make it the fans' problem or somebody else to create an external enemy for everybody else who does like it to fight against. That's what they want. Yeah.
Well, part of the other thing too is now I really do believe that, I'm a sports fan. There's all these algorithms now in baseball, sabermetrics. If you could, and someone once said, if you could put together a winning baseball team based on a computer algorithm, you could be sure that someone's working on it to do the same thing for TV and movies. I'm absolutely convinced that somewhere along the line they looked at these demographics that the marketing people put together. So this is a big demographic: millennials, Zoomers, yada yada. We got to get on board with this, and we could just eschew all the previous fans. But they think that all these people that shop exclusively on Amazon, wait in line for overnight for iPhones, and buy all their groceries at Whole Foods are going to just flock to this if they throw enough virtue signaling in. They're not. It hasn't worked.
Yeah. Actually, I was talking about this recently with my wife, actually. What the thing is, and I've actually found out what their mind frame is kind of behind this kind of thing. We look at it and we think, okay, well, they inject this virtue stuff into this, and then it doesn't do well. And you'd think that they'd take the hint eventually, right? They'd be like, oh, well, this isn't working, right? No. Instead, they have to, as I said, externalize it, make it like an enemy of the fans. So what they do is they say, oh, we're not being inclusive or diverse enough. If only we were more inclusive, more diverse, we did more, that's when people would actually come. Because again, it's all about putting responsibility onto somebody else. It can't be the fault that we're actually trying to preach to you don't like. It must be that we're not doing enough. We want to create tolerance. We want to create all this stuff. So we have to, obviously, we're just not doing enough. We need to push it more because we know best, right? And that's what they do.
Yeah, but how much do you want to bet that most of the people that they're trying to pander to don't even want that pandering?
Most people they pander to don't even watch. They don't buy. They don't watch. As you said, Rob, they don't buy things. They don't go to cons. They don't do any of this stuff. They don't care. They'll just scream about it on Twitter because, oh, well, it gets me lots of likes and people notice me. That's what they do.
Yeah. Twitter impressions actually are more currency than actual money to them.
Apparently.
And there's that whole thing. I was like, I don't know. Yeah, listen, regardless of what you think of Ethan Van Sciver, he would, and a lot of people, they would make these videos where they would go into these stores and they would see all the action figures of the quote unquote new diverse characters. Nobody's buying any of this shit.
Yeah, I think Ethan actually made a video of him buying a Holdo figure just to set it on fire.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, the Tower of Ticos, Yeah, I mean, and like G.I. Joe, the Snake Eyes movie, it bombed actually this weekend. And again, they were, and all the quote unquote experts were saying, well, you're just angry it's not a white man under the mask. I'm like, no, I'm angry the movie sucked.
But we're also angry that it wasn't a white man because it was supposed to be. And they decided to change that because it's like Clownfish TV said, ninjas have to be Asian. No, they don't.
And it was also part of his character that he was white and he particularly didn't fit in. That was a big component of his character.
Yeah,
And it's
because
not just,
because he was an outsider.
yeah, and it's not just that he was, oh, we want more white representation. No, it was a big part of his character. And if you're going to change that, you're the way you're doing it is a disservice. You're taking away some like depth of a character, and then when a character take away that depth, the character is very shallow, and a shallow character is not enjoyable to watch.
Honey, don't insult shallow characters.
That's true.
Hey, I'm quite shallow, so I don't take offense. But like I said, the whole premise of Snake Eyes was that he was gaijin. He was the outsider in this alien world in Japan. And he curried favor with Storm Shadow's uncle, the hard master. He became his favorite student, and he harbored resentment towards him.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and to root out his murderer, he joined Cobra. And there's more to it. There's a lot more to it, but that was actually the best version. It's been rewritten a few times in the IDW, the Devil's Due version, but that was the best version of the Marvel comics. That's still the definitive version. But this whole thing about taking Snake Eyes, making him Asian, and he's I call Henry Golding being barely Asian, barely rich Asian. That's. But yeah, and that's essentially what they did. They took his Crazy Rich Asians character and plopped him into a generic martial arts movie with some G.I. Joe trappings around it. And it didn't work. And complete with an Infinity Stone or a Dragon Ball or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah.
These people do not know how to write good stories.
No, they don't. No, it's all appropriation. It's all just like I said, appropriation, co-opting something better,
or self-inserts. Don't forget that they do that.
Oh yeah, I hate self-inserts with a passion. In my own writing, I make sure to never do them.
Yeah, that's the first thing you always learn: never make the main character yourself.
I know, right? No one wants to read about you unless you're writing an autobiography or a memoir.
Mm-hmm.
But no.
I'm not that interesting. That people want to read about me. Do you guys know a character, Captain Harlock, from anime?
I think
is that the Space Pirates anime?
Space Pirate Captain Harlock. Yes,
I know the name, but I have not actually seen it.
Yes.
It's probably honey. That's probably something we should put on our list.
Yep, our endless list of things we need to watch but never have time to watch.
There's actually the guy who created him, Leiji Matsumoto. I'll actually bring up the image here for you guys. The guy who created Leiji Matsumoto is a brilliant writer. Actually, does a lot of stuff. A lot of it takes place in occupied Japan, which is familiar. That's Harlock on the right. And again, Leiji Matsumoto is actually modeled after his friend and engineer, mechanic Toshiro. And that was the thing he said, never make I knew nobody would want to read about me as the main character, so I based it on my friend, who was this very tall, very handsome, very dashing man.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and it worked very well. But everybody thinks everybody's so self-important. Like, you take a look at all these new characters, quote unquote, new characters. They're just the same old characters with a new skin or a new paint job.
Yeah, they don't work.
No, it doesn't work. Yeah, please, Ms. Marvel is Sana Amanat's self-insert.
Oh, but don't even get me started on that.
We have the one of the volumes of Ms. Marvel's graphic novel up in our closet where it will never see the light of day.
Because
my husband refuses to burn it or use it as toilet paper.
It's not.
I think it will just rot away if we leave it alone.
I wish.
It literally has a fan fiction in it that the character writes about.
You're insulting bad fan fiction.
Wait. You're gonna love this. It has a fan fiction in it that's literally about Captain Marvel defending the world of Unicorn Ponyland. I kid you not. This is actually drawn in the book. Isn't that so relatable? Don't you just want to go pick it up today?
I want to puke.
Yeah, and due to a miscommunication, we are now joined by Jake. My milk Jake brings all the boys to the yard. Bentley, Jake, what's going on, buddy?
Not too much. I came in just in time to find that someone stole my dream journal.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl. That was a good
Jake,
movie.
Jake, I want you to meet Master of TDS and the Writing Raven from the Gothic Therapy YouTube channel.
Hello.
Oh, pleasure.
So,
Yeah, so actually, I was actually talking about dream journals. I was reading this I Am Not Starfire thing.
Ugh,
oh, don't no.
I hate
Okay,
that.
yeah,
I
but,
hate that. That is not a
it was-
goth.
They put
As a goth, I can say that I am a true goth, and what's drawn in there is not a goth. They call it a goth. It's not a goth. It's an emo. There's a difference.
well, they put the first like 8 pages on DC's website, and it's not even worth reading that. And Jake actually put it best. The idea of like self-insert characters is to be an idealized version of yourself, and somehow Mariko Tamaki, or her idealized self-insert version of herself, is somehow worse.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dumpstar fire.
Trash fire, even. Dumpstar might be better. Who knows? Who cares? All I have to say is that's not a goth. I don't know if you saw back when it was first announced with the cover art. Anna, that Star Wars girl, did a redesign of it.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
And she actually looked up. She looked up Gothic fashion for plus size people, and she redrew the character based on what she found in a plump girl in a corset.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I wasn't on Twitter at the time, so my husband had to give my thanks for me, but oh my gosh, I loved that redesign. Thank you, Anna.
Is there a way to find that? Because I would be curious. Because we spent a few weeks ago, we spent about a half hour roasting that to oblivion.
That's not enough. That thing is supposed to be for young adults and teenagers. It's literally the moral of the story is be a whiny, self-absorbed little terror until you get what you want, and then you get it for free without any responsibility attached, and do whatever you want, and then you're happy with yourself.
yeah.
Yay.
That's a
That's
horrible
great-
life lesson.
Great life lessons for all people to learn is that just be the most annoying, terrible person ever, and then your superpowers will just fall from the sky.
I believe that's it, isn't it?
No, that's not it. Anna
Okay.
drew her with a corset.
Sorry.
No, it's
That's
one
okay.
of the redesigns that's better than what's
Yeah.
originally there.
Let's be honest, any redesign is better than what was
I-
there.
I was
True,
going
but
to say,
Anna's was my favorite.
I can only draw on stick figures, and I bet I
Same.
can redesign it better.
I'm sure you could.
Yeah,
It would have less arm hair.
Actually, this is probably one of the more underappreciated redesigns. If I could bring this up here in a second. This is one I found recently, and this one really speaks to me for some reason. I'm not sure why. That's I don't know.
I've seen that one. It's weird, but it's accurate.
Okay, we're
I'm Not Starfire is the most obvious title too. The sequel should be No Shit.
You're not wrong there.
The next one's going to be called I Am Not Mariko Tamaki. And it's going to just make him look completely different so she can say, it's not a self-insert.
But we all know it is.
Oh, she even knows it is.
Yeah. See, and then this is why I'm friends with Jake. So, oh brother, so Jake, what's going on? What's going on in Jake world?
Not too much. Just a whole bunch of shit around my computer that I didn't clean up from last week because I'm a slob. But yeah, not too much. Not too much.
So,
I actually did a few comedy podcasts this week, so
Awesome.
yeah, those will be
When's-
coming out soon.
Yeah, one was it Johnny Benson's or?
I did it with Johnny, but it was another stand-up comic. He was actually one of the guys I threw up at the show a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, I think it was the guy who went up right before you, actually.
Oh, okay, that JT? No.
Oh no, he went on after.
Okay,
Alex
all right, yeah.
Tomaselli.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah.
He's a good guy. It's called Yes Offense, and I think it's going to be out Wednesday. So if you're looking for a podcast to listen to, we get very offensive.
Okay. And if you're also looking for another podcast or YouTube channel, check out Gothic Therapy.
Why thank you.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like I said,
I think I will.
Like I said, these are people that are smarter than I am. So,
you're too kind.
And we're just reinforcing that as we keep going. So now that Jake's joined us, I want to ask him what he thinks about this Scarlett Johansson lawsuit deal.
I'm for it because I think I haven't, held back on. I think the whole premiere access thing is complete bullshit, and I'm down for anything that helps bring that down a notch.
Yeah.
It's also one of those things too. I think actors really do have to take a stand for themselves in things like that because streaming is such a game changer. And I know in a lot of mediums, like, talent is getting fucked over. I'm a big wrestling nerd, for example, and I know once like WWE switched to the network, all those guys stopped seeing pay-per-view bonuses, and their income dropped dramatically. And the same thing is going to happen to actors if they don't. I mean, the difference is actors have a guild, they have they're unionized, so they're going to be a little harder to walk all over. But yeah, they absolutely need to step up for themselves, and they need to, set precedents to make sure they do get paid in the streaming era now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I imagine it's the same thing with ebooks. Like writers get paid depending on the publishing company based on how many words are in what they write, or by how many copies of books are sold. If I don't really and to be honest, I have no idea how much money they would make on ebooks, because that technically most of that money, I believe, would go to the company that produces the electronic version. I have no idea if the actual author gets paid.
Yeah,
that's a good question.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if it's the same as streaming as it is for ebooks.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually something someone should look into.
That's actually pretty good, pretty interesting question, actually.
Yeah, don't know why I never thought of it before.
We could have made a video and everything.
Wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute. I have an expert here. He knows the rate. How much is it the rate for streaming ebooks?
$32.50.
Oh, okay, there you go. Thank you, Roger. So
I don't need to know what goes on in your bedroom.
All right, Roger. We're not talking about that. Okay, come on. All right. So anyway, it's interesting. Yeah. So interesting conversation. But Jake, like I said, we're probably gonna wrap in a little while here. But this is the time of the show where I always like to bring up some unusual news stories, because we're not just about entertainment. We like to have a little fun. And so, we scour the internet, for some interesting news stories. So, like I said, just to kind of it's a palate cleanser, because we can't be pissed off about everything. Well, first of all, before we do that, what did you, Master and Raven, what did you guys think of did you see Masters of the Universe, the He-Man, the new He-Man thing?
We started watching the 2002 version.
I've seen some clips from the new He-Man, which is really, the animation is amazing, but the plot and stuff, no, it's not. And the transformation sequence for He-Man is literally can be synced to the Sailor Moon transformation. I've seen that on Twitter. It was hilarious.
Well, really, it's more or less I don't want to call it a bait and switch, but it does feel like a bait and switch. I mean, they do this whole edgy thing. Oh yeah, we're gonna kill He-Man in the first 10 minutes. And they kill He-Man and the rest.
Expectations, yay!
And I'm a huge James Bond fan, and so I don't know if either of you are James Bond fans.
I've seen a couple of them. I'll be honest. I stopped. It's hard to follow because of all the different. They change every once in a while, but we haven't watched any recently because I think I heard the most recent one. And did that even come out?
No, it hasn't come out yet. It should be out by November.
Crazy. I thought it would have come out already because I heard it was going to be like really bad, and I was not planning to see it anyways. So it was kind of like, you see, I've kind of have this concept now where if I hear that something's going to become like woke or whatever, and I get like a little bit of a taste of it, I don't even wait to see it like crash and burn. I'll kind of just take a step back because I don't want to get tangled up in another franchise again, you know?
Well, for me, it's too late. I'm too far gone in the James Bond franchise. So,
Fair.
Yeah. I mean, I've had people say, "Oh, they should stop making James Bond movies." I'm like, what, dude? Did you see Casino Royale? And then this guy goes, thinking he's going to one-up me. Have you ever seen Moonraker? I'm like, more times over the last 35 years than you could ever possibly know. So all right. So just hold your horses there, Billy Jack. So, but the whole thing about, what'd you say, Jake?
I was gonna say I was like I kind of like Bond movies. I was like, I haven't seen one in forever, so I just pulled up a list of them because I was like, it's been about 7 years since I've seen a Bond movie, and Spectre was the last one I saw, and that was the last one that was out. I didn't realize they were taking so long because, like, at one point they were coming out like every 2 years.
Yeah, and actually Spectre is very bad.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I am not William Shatner. Yeah, that's actually pretty good one.
I've seen every Pierce Brosnan and every Daniel Craig one, so I'm kind of half. I like them as dumb action movies. I don't really care for the series as a whole.
Okay. Well, as far as the Daniel Craig movies, you can stop at Casino Royale.
Oh, I've watched the other 3 since.
Okay, but Casino Royale is the best one of them, which is a shame because he had such potential going in. It's like, I did like Skyfall, but the more I think about Skyfall, it's pretty much the same movie as The Dark Knight.
Yeah. What I really liked when Daniel Craig became Bond, because he was a little bit different. He was a little more of like a bruiser Bond. You know, he was a little more like Jack, a little more, you know, he'll run through a wall instead of using a gadget to get through it, kind of thing. And I really liked that.
Yeah, my former boss actually was very, very happy when he bought a BMW Z3, and I told him that was the only non-British made car James Bond ever drove in a movie. So I was like, yeah, there you go. He's like, really? I'm like, oh yeah. Which movie? GoldenEye. he's like really excited. I'm like, yes, I got something special. But I was saying about how No Time to Die. It should be at this point called No Time to Care. And they're gonna
No Time to Come Out because it hasn't.
Or just here's a better idea: don't make the movie.
It's too late.
Yeah, too late. And they're gonna. Even if they lose money on it, they're going to write it off and sure they'll write down
It was COVID. COVID made our movie fail.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think there's an insurance policy taken out on that. You know, size of the Empire State Building. But we were talking about they kill He-Man the first 10 minutes. Every person I talk to who thinks they have the key to the Bond franchise. Oh yeah, how about we kill Bond in the first 10 minutes? Yeah, it's been done. It's called You Only Live Twice, moron. And they did it better.
I think the next Bond movie should star Melissa McCarthy in fake arm hair, and it should be called I'm Not 007.
Okay.
This is why we love Jake.
That'd be interesting.
Time to die, Mr. Bond. But actually, like I said, I could talk James Bond all night, but I just want to finish the James Bond talk here. The biggest problem with James Bond is not James Bond, it's Austin Powers. Because ever since Austin Powers, directors have been trying to get as far away from the James Bond tropes and from the style of filmmaking and from the classic elements because they're afraid it's going to look stupid because they were poked fun at in Austin Powers.
I don't think so. I mean, I'm not as familiar with Austin Powers, but I do know that a very good iteration of the James Bond style spy was Kingsman.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they do it from more of a.
I know they do it from a different perspective, but they also give a very good explanation for why British spies are so well dressed. Yeah. They literally have the front of their HQ is a tailor shop.
Yeah, well,
and then in the second movie, the American version is a brewery, which is so American.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is I've read I've read the James Bond novels. I haven't finished them all, but the reason is because they wear a suit jacket all the time to hide the gun. So that's the official reason. So, and when they first made when they made the first movie, Dr. No, they brought Sean Connery to Savile Row. They said they got him a tailor-made suit, and they told him, "Okay, go home and sleep in it because this suit is going to be your second skin. You're going to live in this."
I mean, it's such a badass aesthetic, though. Like, that just badass in like a suit who just shows up and kicks the shit out of you. It's why like Yakuza all wear suits.
Yeah, but how did the pants not rip when you're doing martial arts?
I think in my experience, dress pants are a little they're a little more flowy than they're given credit for. They're a little more like bendable and they're not so rigid. I could see doing martial arts in a suit.
I don't know. My brothers like their suits, and I cannot see martial arts being done in them.
Well, suspension of disbelief. That's
it depends on the style of suit. Also, let's keep that in mind.
I guess that's fair.
Well, like the European style tightly cut and really form-fitting suit hasn't taken off until fairly recently. If you look at 60s suits, back then they were actually a little bit more comfortable
Roomy?
looking. Yeah, more roomy, and you spend. And actually, I had someone whose father went to Yale. He was a lawyer. And they said when you go to these reunions, you can tell the difference between $100 suit and a $5,000 suit. So when you're getting a $5,000 suit, a 5,000-pound suit made, you're gonna get it exactly to your liking. Make sure I can kick some ass on this, will you? Oh, sure thing.
Yeah, a custom suit is definitely would be the way to go, as so long as you have the money for it.
Yeah, but
I would imagine too that like there's got to be like if you're a spy, it's not going to be made out of like polyester, like it's probably going to be like fucking Kevlar
or silk or silk over Kevlar.
I always say though that if you think about it, James Bond is really a pretty lousy spy, because what's a spy's job? To keep a low profile. And yeah, that's so easy to do when you're blowing everything up and driving a $200,000
and sleeping with every woman you meet.
Exactly.
It's called hiding in plain sight, and it's awesome.
That's right, Jake. People have often asked what kind of James Bond movie I would make. I said I would make it so over the top. It would be filled with so much drinking and gambling and smoking and casual sex and violence and just like so much over the top action. It would be hailed as the greatest cinematic achievement for the franchise, or it would completely destroy it.
So Vegas?
I was going to say the first 30 minutes, everyone's just going to assume it's a Hangover sequel.
Exactly. But okay, Jake, great segue. Okay, this is the palate cleanser. I've wanted to talk about this. I found this story today. Like I said, I like to come up with some weird news just as a palate cleanser, and this is it. We got to talk about this. Squirrel gets drunk on fermented pear because acorns can't dull the pain.
Okay. My husband told me beforehand not to laugh too loudly because we don't want to bother our neighbors, but oh my gosh, I want to laugh loudly. Wow. That is one of the craziest headlines I've ever seen. And I've read a fictional story that actually their author just found a ridiculous looking headline and based the whole story off of it. It was what was it? Something about disowned or drunken husband returns as parent.
And okay, I'm looking at the date on this, like 11/25/2020. How did this escape my knowledge? How did I go so long without seeing this?
How did a squirrel get drunk? And why was the pear fermented?
Well, obviously, Ilhan Omar was the one who got the squirrel drunk.
That poor squirrel.
Minnesota woman says she accidentally got the critter sloshed. The squirrel appears to be drunk as a skunk. Katie Morlock said she fed a squirrel an old pear from her fridge, but realized later the fruit had fermented into a boozy snack for the critter. A video shows the squirrel, which she named Little Red, nearly keeling over after bellying up to the treat. This is great. I love this. Morlock thought she was leaving out a safe nibble for the squirrels, but Little Red's apparent stupor and repeat business indicated otherwise. And then it kind of dawned on me, oh no, those pears were so old, I bet they fermented. Morlock of Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota told Fox 9. And then he got drunk, and I did not mean to do that, so I went out and grabbed all the pears. Morlock said Little Red recovered with a little hangover breakfast.
Oh dear.
No hair of the dog for this tipsy creature. While the HuffPost cannot verify the pears fermented and the squirrel got soused, it does seem that fruit can ferment on its own in the fridge in certain cases. In an article titled 4 Reasons Not to Feed Wildlife. Okay, yada, 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 nobody cares. But
Don't tell PETA.
Don't tell PETA.
Before it disappears from the side, Morbid Fury brought up that dolphins use pufferfish to get high, and I know he means he means the aquatic animal, but I'm just sitting here picturing Devontae Parker and Tua Tagovailoa hitting a pufferfish like it's a bong.
Are you talking about the football players?
Yes.
Oh God.
Yeah, dolphins are actually very intelligent creatures.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Now we are definitely not talking about the football players.
Oh Lord. So
this world.
Agger didn't like a squirrel, but like I said, I always like to end on some weird animal news story.
Well, that's definitely counts, I'd say.
Ah, brother. So I think like I said, we've gone about an hour. I think that's a good place to end it. So, like I said, it's a nice. I like to keep the nice, tidy shows. Jake, sorry about the miscommunication.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I missed. I'm sorry I missed it.
Yeah.
But it was good to be here and meet you guys for about 15 minutes.
Nice to meet you too.
We'll have them back on, so they can get the full Jake experience.
Yeah, they might not come back if that's what they get.
Well, it depends. If you're gonna give us fermented pears, we may have a problem. So,
all right, I'm just gonna cross that one off the list.
Yeah, might be a good idea.
Yeah, but anyway, so
stick with kiwi.
Right. So okay, Raven Master, tell them everybody where they can find you.
Well, I'll go first. You can find me on Twitter at Master of TDS. I post there fairly often. Do have work during the week, so keep that in mind. Otherwise, you can find us on our channel at Gothic Therapy. But let my wife go now.
Okay. I also recently made a Twitter at Writing Raven 2, the number 2. I also have a Wattpad where people can read my stories that I've written, and especially if you want stories that are well written and not woke.
Basically not Hollywood.
Exactly. My account there is at Gothic Writer 613.
Okay, cool. Jake?
I am apparently a 75-year-old man because I only have Facebook. Feel free to friend me on there, I guess. I do have a Twitter. I'm not very active on it. I just make snarky replies to pro wrestling and football content. But otherwise, yeah, check me out on the Yes Offense podcast if you're in the Connecticut area. The Elbow Room every Thursday night is the open mic, and every Saturday night I'm probably hanging around and gonna squeeze myself on a show. So
and you can find me right here. You can find me over at Mecha Random 42's channel. You can find me. I'm like Visa. I'm everywhere you want to be. A few places you don't. So anyway, before we go, it is actually we're getting the campaign never stops. So, and a recent Disney executive wrote a book, made him appear as a saintly figure, almost Pope-like. So we'd like to depart now with a campaign commercial. This is exclusive from a certain candidate who will be coming to a town near you. In these difficult times, America needs a leader they can count on. And that leader is Pope Bob Iger. A Pope Bob Iger presidency means lower taxes, better schools, and Disney Plus for all Americans. He's already in the Vatican. Now, put him in the White House. Hello, I am Pope Bob Iger. Not only do I want to be Pope, but I want to be your president. Vote for me, or the Twitterati will cancel you and everyone you know. When you cast your vote, vote for the one man who will make America the happiest place on earth. Pope Bob Iger. I have Baby Yoda's vote. What about yours? I am Pope Bob Iger, and I am approving of this message. Can't keep a good Pope on. Everybody, thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next time. Thank you, Master TPS. Thank you, Rodney Raymond. Thank you, Jake Bentley. Thank you, all of you, for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Very much.